my friends, and welcome to my Halloween coffee. Before we dive into this last Halloween project, I would like to show you what my friend Nancy, the Handi Scandi, sent me. She has a YouTube channel, the Handi Scandi, and I will leave a link to her in my description box below. She has this amazing ability to mix grunge, elegance, mixed media, and adorable images in her creations, and I highly recommend you check her channel out. When she offered for me to hop along with Whimsy, she is on their design team. She also offered to stamp and die cut Whimsy products since they are hard to find in my country. But she didn't just stamp and die cut a few things. She went above and beyond and sent me an abundance of images, papers and die cuts. It must have taken so much time and effort, and I am so grateful. She also sent me this amazing card that she made with regular kitchen foil, inks, embossing and die cuts. And to me, this idea is new and so very clever. Look at that grungy detail. If you want to know how she did it, I would suggest a visit to her channel. She also sent me many fun and clever little cards and tags, and they are so fun and amazing. She also knew that I was skipping Stamptember because of the shipping, so she sent me two of my favorite Stamptember sets, one from Whimsy and one from Mama Elephant. And to top all of this off, she also sent me the cauldron mug I am drinking from. She managed to find the most amazing cauldron mug on the planet. So thank you, Nancy, my Handi Scandi, for these thoughtful and generous gifts, and for nudging me along to hop with Whimsy the week before last. So with that tribute to my friend, let's make some fun Halloween cards with the Whimsy Stamptember set. I start by stamping these overly cute mice in costumes on Bristol Smooth cardstock with VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink, which is a waterproof ink. For this project, I am coloring with my SIG Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I start with a little pink inside the ears and blend that out with a lighter pink. Then I move on to the rest of the Dracula mouse with 4 shades of warm grays, starting with the darkest to make shadows and then extending those shadows with my medium shades and blending out harsh lines with my lightest warm gray marker. Next, I am putting in dark purple shadows on his cape and blending that out with my medium and then my lightest purple. I love this little mummy mouse, and to make his bandages dirty, I start with a sand color and then I go over that light sand with the same 4 warm grey markers as before. For the rest of the mouse, I am using 4 cool grey markers, placing my shadows under his bandages and blending them out with lighter and lighter cool grey markers. Then I put the same pink shades in his ears. I also give these 2 mouses a little pink on their cheeks. Next, I'm coloring all the pieces of candy from the set, and I color many of each, starting with this pumpkin in 4 shades of brown and orange, and then I color the candy corn with the same orange combo, a combination of yellow shades and a little smidge of cool grey to bring out the white part of the candy corn. For these 2 first wrapped candy pieces, I am using 3 shades of purple from before and the orange combo for the last piece of candy. For this little cute mouse popping up from the pumpkin, I am using the same combo of brown and orange markers as I used on the smaller pumpkin. I use brown for the pumpkin stem and the same 2 pink markers from before for her ears. Then I continue to use my cool grey combination for her body. I color this little pirate mouse with my warm grey combination, so I have 2 warm grey mouses and 2 cool grey mouses. Then I use my purple markers for his hat, pink for his ears and cheeks, and cool greys for his sword. So now I have all of my cute characters, and I am going to make 2 cards for my niece and nephews using this Lawn Fawn pop-up die set. I cut a total of 4 panels from black cardstock and 2 arms for the pop-up feature. I need 2 panels for each card and 1 pop-up arm. There are score lines on the panels and I fold them like an accordion on both panels so they together make my pop-up card. I measure about 2 3/4 inches from the bottom of my front panel and cut the rest off. Next I bring out my scissors and freehand cut a grass line at the top of my front panel. No need to fuss and measure, grass doesn't grow the same anyway. So next I have that pop-up arm and there are score lines on this too. So I just fold at those diagonal score lines and we have that pop-up arm. So now I have my pop-up mechanism, my panels, and off camera I cut 2 more grass lines that will create grass on my whole front panel and give the card some depth. I also bring out Distress Oxide inks in Crushed Olive, Lost Shadow and Shaded Lilac. I blend Crushed Olive onto the grass part of my front panel and on the 2 extra grass pieces. I also blend that yellow-green ink on my back panel in case it will show through my grass. It didn't. Next I bring out my homemade cloud stencil, just cut from plastic packaging, nothing fancy at all, and I place it on my background panel just above the green and blend Lost Shadow, a light grey ink, mostly on the stencil, barely touching the background to get some spooky clouds. Then I alternate between the grey and the shaded lilac and build a cloudy background. I want some room behind the grass pieces to tuck candy behind, so I only put double-sided tape at the bottom of each piece, add some glue and glue the pieces on to my front panel. Next, I'm showing you a mistake because I make a lot of them. I want some orange sentiments and I'm using carved pumpkin oxide ink and spiced marmalade distress glaze. I stamp in orange, cover with orange glaze, and it did not show up as well as I had hoped. So now we will fix that by embossing the same way, but this time on white cardstock, and it shows up well. I should have thought about that, but I didn't. I stamped and embossed a lot of the sentiments in that set the same way, and to achieve the effect I wanted, I bring out distress inks in Wilted Violet and Villainous Potion and blend the lighter first over the sentiment and the darker purple around the edges. Then I wipe up the excess ink from my orange words, and now I am happy, despite it not showing up as bright on camera as it does in real life. So, I have put strong double-sided red line tape on the outer flaps of each panel, and now I'm removing it from the front panel and gluing only that side on to the background. Next I have that pop-up arm, and it's white because I wanted an even sturdier arm, and I only put tape on the smaller folded triangle. Then I decide on a placement and glue only that little triangle onto the fold and get a pop-up arm that moves along when I move the card panels. It's finally time to add all my little images, starting with the pumpkin that my mouse will pop up from. I continue adding the mice, and I only put foam tape at the bottom of each mouse so it won't affect the movement of the card. When it's time to add the pumpkin mouse on to the pop-up arm, I try it out first, then I add glue and add my mouse head. Then I check it several times so the mouse pops up exactly where I want it to. When I know my mouse head is secure and in the right place, I remove the double-sided tape backing and close my card. While the glue dries, I hold my card together with clips and start adding my orange sentiments. The first one saying happy haunting goes right over the failed embossing, and then I add one saying hello boo, Arg for the pirate, and bring on the candy. The final touch on this card is to glue down a bunch of pumpkins and candy, some tucked behind the grass. Here are both cards side by side, and all that's left is to try the pop-up feature a billion times. And now, these Halloween Whimsy Stamps Lawn Fawn pop-up cards are finished. Thank you so much for popping by and spending some crafty time with me. I appreciate every single one of you. Until the next time, happy Halloween!